Ms. Wales, the defendant is your mother.
Yes.
It is your claim that she has a dog that belongs to you. You want either the dog back or $500.
Yes.
Your mother says the dog is her dog. She bought two dogs, a male and a female. She gave you one. She kept one. The dog that she kept is hers. And she's counterclaiming, alleging that you and your boyfriend, who I assume this is?
No, this is my brother.
That you and a boyfriend who lived in one of her mobile homes destroyed the mobile home.
No, Your Honor, that's not.
That's her counterclaim.
Yes.
Correct?
That's right.
Okay, so first tell me when and from whom the dog was purchased.
My mother went and bought me the dogs.
So your mother purchased...
My mother purchased both dogs.
Okay, when?
In the summer of 2012. She purchased the male and the female. We went to get the male and the female. And the lady...
Just a second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Your mother purchased both dogs from a breeder.
Yes, from a breeder.
What kind of dogs are they?
They're Pomeranian.
When you got the dogs, which was 2 years ago?
No, 5
When?
years ago.
5 years ago.
2012.
Where were you living?
I was living with my stepfather,
Whose name is?
Richard.
And where was your mother living?
My mother was living in her house in Eaton.
And when the dogs were purchased, did you take either or both of the dogs home with you? Just listen to my question.
Okay.
When the dogs were purchased, did you take one or both of the dogs home with you to your stepfather's house?
I took the one dog, the female.
And did that female stay with you at your stepfather's house?
Yes, she did.
Until when?
Until I had moved out in 2016.
So from 2012 to 2016, you had the female?
Yes, but I had the male too. A couple days later, after we bought the dogs, my mom brought the male to me, and she said, you know, I can't have the dog because the dog's not getting along with my dogs. She has 5 other dogs. And she said, do you want the dog? And I said, yes, I do. And my brother was there. My brother named the dog.
So between 2012 and 2016, you had both dogs?
Yes.
When in 2016 did you move out of your stepfather's house?
In May.
And where did you go?
I moved to North Glen in Denver. It's, you know, about an hour and a half from where my mother lives.
Into a house?
Yeah, into a room, basically. In the basement. I rented the basement.
With whom?
My boyfriend.
Did you live with your boyfriend in your stepfather's house too?
No, I lived with my boyfriend in my mother's mobile home, but it's not my mother's, it's my father's mobile home.
From when to when?
When did I live with my boyfriend?
No, when did you live in your mother's mobile home?
In 2013, I moved into there.
Oh, so then from 2012 to 2016, you weren't in your stepfather's house, you were in the mobile home?
Yes.
With 2 dogs?
Yes.
Who lived with you there, just your boyfriend?
No, my stepfather had lived in there too, because he had moved out of his house and he moved into my father's house.
And where did your mother live?
My mother lived in her house in Eaton.
Is that a mobile home also?
Yes, it is.
And they both owned this mobile home?
No, my father owns the mobile...
Is that your father or your stepfather?
It's crazy, Your Honor. The house that my stepfather lives in, my father owns, and the house my mother lives in, my stepfather owns. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is, Your Honor. But that's the way it is.
So the house that you were living in belonged to your...
Father.
Father.
Yes.
Solely.
Solely my father.
And at what point did your mother gain possession of one of the dogs?
In May, when I had moved out, I was moving out, and I took the female, because the female was real attached to me, and she knew I was leaving, so I had took her, and I didn't know if I could bring the male, and I told my mother, I'll be back for the male, and I told my stepfather.
That was in May?
Yes, but my mother didn't live in the house. It was my stepfather that was there. My mother's never lived with that dog. You know, the dogs lived with my stepfather.
So you left the dog with your stepfather?
Yes, I did. And I told him that I'd be back for the dog, and he said, okay.
When did you come back for the dog?
I came back for him in August. But before I came back for the dog, I had went to the police. I called the police station in Greeley, where the house was, the mobile home was, because, you know, my mother's very vindictive, and I didn't want, you know, nothing happening.
Well, what was...